Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Herbal India, I, Rakhi Bakshi, along with my team, welcome you all, ladies and gentlemen, well-wishers, friends, and all those people who are watching us. You have been really encouraging and supporting us. And this pandemic time, we've only tried to bring you information, crucial insights, which is relevant to you, the timely information which can help you in understanding things better. And that is our endeavor. And we are going ahead in this journey along with all of you. So another evening and another very esteemed speaker with us. I'm truly delighted to welcome Dr. Richa Jaiswal. She's a dietitian with AIMS. And we are going to talk to her about what means good food, what means the right kind of food, and what is it that we should really look at in terms of when we are looking at our nutritional habits. So I welcome first of all Dr. Jaiswal on Herbal India Talk Show.
Thank you, Rakhi, for giving me a chance to be on this platform. And being a woman, it is really very close to each one of us heart. Like we are contributing from our end to our own fraternity. And I congratulate her world and the PCGL for thinking that nutrition is equally important to maintain a good health, and it is important to enhance our immune system. And I really congratulate both the organization.
Thank you so much, Dr. Richa. It really means a lot to us. And as you rightly said, our endeavor is to also work along with the Policy Center and Gender Lab. When we say that, we also mean that we're looking at new policies, we are looking at those research insights, and this is how we are talking to experts like you. To begin with, this is the COVID time, and people, one question, which is a very big question for all of us, is to what is the right kind of food. So for example, one should not have COVID. So what is the right kind of food pyramid in a day that should be ideal, Dr. Rich?
Yeah, so your question is like related to pyramid, but because before coming to the pyramid, I would like to say a few lines. Like we should be knowing the purpose of eating. So what is the purpose of eating? When every physiological age group has a different purpose to eat food. No doubt each physiological age group has a requirement to maintain a good health, and it is to protect our body from any kind of diseases. In addition to that, like it is important to fulfill the requirement of that particular physiological age group and any additional need required at that particular time. So before thinking about the pyramid, which is meant exclusive for you, it is important to understand the purpose of eating. So purpose of eating, once it is defined, it is converted into nutrients and then to food item, which general public understand that which food item should be eaten for the good health. So food can be converted into a pyramid. Just to give in an example, just to give in a clear picture, like how much a particular food item should be given a special importance. So in current scenario, like I'm considering just a hypothetical situation, like I'm talking about an adult person who is not in any particular physiological age group. So pyramid should fall into certain categories, where the physical activity plus the water intake must be considered as a priority. Then second comes protein. Why I am giving the protein things at a base which is the heavier, because it's not that we people require the additional protein. We just require the normal protein which is meant for a particular person. But the our own ICMR data says that we eat approximate half of the actual requirement. So unless or until we start giving the importance of that particular food item, it is very, we may lack something somewhere. So when I talk about the nutrient protein, from where we are going to get it, it is easily available in any milk and milk products, non-veg items, including poultry, fish, and non-veg, and like pulses and the combination of pulses and cereals. Nuts are also a very good source of protein, a fair source of protein, because it has good amount of fat also. Then I come to the cereal and millets. When I come to the cereal and millets, it is important to give a preference to the seasonal variations and reason specific also, and sufficient quantity should be taken to give spare the protein functioning. Then I'm coming to the fruits and vegetables. That is very important. We require to eat approximate 4 to, some people say 7 exchange, 4 to 9 exchange, which means approximate 2 to 3 bowls of vegetables and 2 plates of salads, and fruits at least 1 to 2 in a day. And then nuts and seeds are also very important, because that gives a different kind of nutrients to us, which we generally forget to mention in our general. We understand carbohydrate, fat, protein, and we forget about the phytochemicals, fiber, and essential fatty acids, which is equally important to maintain the good health and enhance our immune system. Then the last top of the pyramid, which is very small and very lighter, that I prefer to give to the general vegetable oils, and ghee, and the like processed foods and confectionaries. That should be either taken in a very small portion, and better to avoid, because in the current scenario most of the people are going through a different level of challenge. If they get infected, and if they are on a certain medicine, it has been seen that they have like higher hyperglycemia, which should be also taken, should be maintained. So it is important to develop a particular healthy eating habit, so that you can carry it for a lifelong. That doesn't mean that person can't enjoy certain food items, because food, we cannot think all the time as a medicine. It gives us some level of psychological satisfaction also. Once we have a taste buds, we can't avoid certain food items in a certain scenario. So considering the pyramid, like, people could have an idea like which food item should be given a priority, and which should be taken either in a small portion, or it should be avoided if it can be avoided completely.
What is it that should not be really looked at, especially in the COVID time? Because immunity becomes very important. Though you have narrated in great detail as to what are the ideal ingredients that one should have one's hands on. But still, what are the things that should completely be avoided or just not be touched upon? Also, because in COVID time we need to be particular about maintaining immunity, the right kind of health balance, and that's why we should be very, very, very careful.
The first thing is, like, once we talk about the food item, it is important to maintain the hygiene. But before picking up the food item, after cutting and chopping, this is very important, because this process can transmit the infection. So this is the first level which I prefer to mention here. And the second thing, which, like, generally we say trans fat, means, like, to simplify it, we say that fried food item, which has been the oil and ghee, which has been used multiple times for frying, and processed food, packaged food, if we can avoid, it should be avoided completely. Sugar and sugary content should be avoided as much as we can. And that doesn't mean that we can't use in a small portion. And the healthy options are also available. Like, if somebody has a sweet tooth, so the person can have sweet food items, like uh, normal sugar can be replaced with like raisins, dates, and the fruits. This season has a good variety of fruits, where we can satisfy our taste buds, and can't deviate from the particular healthy diet pattern.
Okay. Another thing which is happening, and I must share it with you also, and would like to ask from you, is that when we talk to certain people, we have seen that when you are anxious, and which is happening a lot in COVID time, in the pandemic time, then you tend to have very erratic kind of food patterns. So, for example, if you're woken up late in the night, then you're eating. You're also eating when you're stressed. So, what should one do to avoid stress eating?
See, stress factor, we can avoid only with the, to avoid stress eating. It is important to avoid stress first. To avoid stress, like, only diet can't help you. Diet is one of the component. So the different methods, different techniques should be implemented. Like, some people get satisfaction with the exercise, and this is a proven thing, whether yoga or exercise or simple yoga, which you can do in a sitting position, or at your bed or something. So these things should be tried, and believe me, this really works. to settle down your stress level to a level.
Something related, Dr. Richa, is also emotional eating. So, for example, people are witnessing, feelings like void. There are dear ones who are leaving. There are relatives who are not well, and there are they're either in hospital, away from them. So there are these emotional, feelings happening, and in which your dietary patterns also are kind of, really scattered. What would you say to some of these people who are not eating because they need to eat, but they're eating because they just want to fill a void?
See, occasionally, if you're eating something which is not the part of your diet pattern or not is a part of your healthy eating plan, so that is fine. That is occasional things. But if it is carry for a longer duration, then definitely person should think about the reducing down the stress. In that at that time, generally people try to eat what is readily available. So readily available things are generally the confectionaries and sweets or something. That period can be utilized to eat, if you want to eat something sweet, to eat something homemade sweet item or which is healthier. Like if someone wants to eat something sweet, so instead of some confectionaries, I would rather say have homemade laddus, because that is healthy. That is going to give you some other nutrients also, some other micronutrients also, which is going to give which complete the particular meal or maybe a snacking thing in terms of nutrients.
Another thing that, though you talked about it, but tell us more about the veg and non-veg factor. So some people would think that, maybe non-vegetarian food should be avoided. Now, I don't think it should be completely avoided, as you said also, but what should be the right kind of non-vegetarian stuff that one should take?
Okay, so see, as I mentioned, that purpose of eating is very important. So why we eat? We eat to get a sufficient nutrient which is meant for the particular physiological age group or maybe particular age. So the purpose of eating defines the particular food items quantity also. That's what you mentioned in terms of pyramid. Non-veg, if you are overdoing, is not acceptable because it is lacking in certain nutrients, which mainly it is not a rich source of fiber. That is equally important for the intestine and the immune function. So having in a small portion in an entire day, if you want to eat, generally we say that 120 gram of something, or 150 gram, or maybe 200 gram, depending on the person's daily protein requirement, would be sufficient enough, which means like one portion size, like one bowl or maybe one plate or something, whatever way it can be defined. And like we say that to get the essential fatty acids, it is important. It is mentioned in the many literature and research that 2 times in a week the fish should be taken to complement the requirement of the essential fatty acids. So these are the things which is already defined. But some people scared to have these things during the COVID period. The food item is not going to transmit any infectious things if it is well cleaned and well prepared. Only it is scary when you are not able to maintain the hygiene and COVID appropriate behavior. So non-veg is, we dietitian don't say no to any non-veg. Yeah.
Okay, basically, I think what you're also advising when you're talking about hygiene is do not, when you pick up something just off the shelf, then do take care to clean it properly. In fact, people are, washing it at home, first of all, and then, as you rightly said, that before cooking it, and cooking, I think, in sufficient time is very important so that food is properly cooked. Homemade food, like for example, I would say this chapati, rice, dal, kind of, and vegetable stuff would be ideal, isn't it, Dr. Richa? But I really want to come to the point, because on social media, we really are watching that whenever there is a crisis like this, and I'm slightly again coming to the psychological side, we see a lot of food items, and that post being displayed, which also means that food is somehow filling for the kind of maybe grief one is going. So there is a gratification side to it, that one is feeling very gratified to eat food, and certain kind of food. Though you're saying as an expert that trans fat should be avoided, very oily stuff should be avoided, but the richer the food, the gratification is much better. What would you advise to such people?
Being a nutritionist, and I am dealing with the COVID patients for since initiation of that trauma center and COVID facilities. So I truly I can relate myself with the patients, because I have seen patients crying after having certain food item, and like they can relate it with the home. So and that was the biggest thing with when I see my patients, they cried not because they are they felt something bad, because they were feeling that they are at home, and they said now we could feel like we can improve, and we are at home, it's just a good environment for us. So it is important, and I appreciate that you understood it, like food is not a pill. Patients are not going to pick something and keep in their plate because it is meant for their good health. If they are eating it, it goes to mouth first, and once it goes to mouth first, it is going to be accepted or rejected based on the taste buds. And in the COVID scenario, taste buds are also compromised. So definitely certain people have a separate different way of eating, maybe the way they were eating at the childhood. The best part with the COVID is, like most of the people, they feel connected to the food item which they might have had like in their childhood, or maybe at home, or maybe you can say that they have some connection with their nani when it's like summer vacation, their nani and dadi's way of cooking the food or something.
Good point. That's a good point.
So this was the which is my understanding about the patient. I haven't seen any patient saying that I'm craving for the confectionaries.
Okay.
Yes, they had like craving for a certain kind of textures during the worst phase of the disease, as a texture of the food, and maybe a particular food item they want to eat entire day, but not for the confectionaries. I haven't come across any kind of this option. So
Okay.
I utilize this while counseling the patients, or maybe counseling the person, like this is the healthy which your dadi nani used to serve you, and you want to eat it. So these are the option. It's just not that if one particular kind of food item should be eaten. Like we are in India, and we have variation based on the region, variation based on the season. So utilize it as much as you can. And dietitians and people like you are available to guide you whenever you feel like. And messages are like on social media and everywhere. The healthy messages are also there, and everything is there. It's just tuning their mind a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you this as an observer. I find it also very interesting. You are an expert, though, to see that connection between, a healthy balance between even body and mind. In fact, in COVID and in the second wave, as you rightly mentioned right now, there is mention of loss of smell and taste buds. Would you like to say more about it in this phase? We are watching this, and then how to really deal with it, and how to suddenly one gets very shocked that, oh God, I'm eating something, I'm not feeling the taste.
See, the thing is, like people are really scared about during this phase. Like we all were following all the news channels and all. They were scared about the management of sugar. And uh, here I wish to mention that once somebody is following the healthy pattern, or a food pyramid which is meant for a normal person, so that is going to give them a good level of like maintaining the blood sugar and the health. And that helps enhance the immune system also, and that helping somewhere to come out from the disease early. So this is what is needed. Only thing is, like people once they are sick, or they are struggling with the certain phase of the disease, they require a pusher from somebody. A person can be from the family who understand these all. A nutritionist, a medical team can support them. And these people, these patients, see that the purpose of eating has shifted completely, Raki. Earlier people wanted to eat or spend money for the pleasure. Now people want to eat and spend money for the health. So if you see
that, both you and I should propagate that actually, because otherwise, for example, the in the comorbidity cases, diabetes became very, very crucial. I mean,
yeah.
let's talk about that also, that how to curb diabetic tendency.
So that is very important. Like for diabetic patients, or maybe if even the person is not non-diabetic, but because of the medicine, their blood sugar level, like they experience the hyperglycemia, and they require to follow a particular pattern, which is people say a diabetic diet, but I or maybe our fraternity say it is a healthy way of eating. So here it is very important. The everything should be scheduled and planned in a proper manner. And here I would say,
Yeah.
here I would say that shifting carbohydrate to other important nutrients, like it is very important. Generally, we people have eating habits of a food item. Generally, in our plate, most of the time, the carbs-rich food item are always available in our plate. Like we are eating rice and then potato, vegetable, or something, and that could be 2 to 3 times in a day. I'm not rice, like rice or any cereal, and then potato kind of vegetables. We just need to replan it in a different way. Like some portion of cereal is required in a plate, and a bowl of dal or curd or maybe non-veg item is required in the plate to complement, and the amount of the cereal, chapati or rice should be reduced in a smaller portion, and protein rich things should be given importance. It is not required that every time it should be cooked. It can be partially cooked, but heat treatment should be given in a appropriate manner. Then and half portion of the plate, or maybe 1/4 portion of the plate should have green vegetables in form of salads, and vegetables in a small portion. Then like chutneys and these kind of options are equally important. And we Indians, we are like we give importance to these small accessories which is like decorated in our plate, and that is very important, because this look in a small portion, but it has a bigger role in our on our immune system, because this is going to support our gut. This is important in terms of consuming good amount of fiber and micronutrients like vitamin A, C in a small portion without thinking of nutrient. You are just enjoying the food, but you are eating a good amount of nutrients, phytochemicals, antioxidants without thinking much about it. See, if you see the winter, if you see the summer, we have a different varieties. In winter, seeds and its preparations, with the good and everything. In summer, we have chutneys, varieties of chutneys, and every day the people eat.
Yeah, the chutney achar nation. I mean,
so we are, and the pickle is also a good option for the gut. So in a small portion, but while talking it, like people shouldn't forget that many people have a hypertension tendency, and the salt intake should not be beyond 5 grams per day, which is recommended for the adult population, for a normal adult population.
Sure, that's a very vital input. In fact, I want to also invite any question if you have, then please go ahead and ask a question, because of course I have a lot of questions on these things, but I invite any question if they have. Any kind of info that one wants to ask, or any misinformation or some kind of myth that one goes through. One thinks that, oh God, if I eat this, I'll become, even it relates to beauty. I would say, Dr. Richa, sometimes that, okay, if I do this, then, I am not only healthier, I look good. But I think you would give some critical advice here, for example, how one should be hydrated, isn't it? The right amount of, as you rightly said, vitamin C, which should be going in. Any other input that you would say for a very healthy outlook altogether?
Okay. So the first, like before coming to the special nutrient, I would rather say that people have myth about the COVID management. People think that many people come to the hospital, which I come across, that they don't want to eat curd, they don't want to eat rice, and they have impression that having these things like it's going to worsen their condition.
Okay.
My advice to people that curd and rice, these are rice is if that is part of your diet, if you can avoid it completely, it's okay, because you are having some other cereal. But curd is going to give you that is a probiotic, that is good for your gut, and gut is the area which generates the maximum immune cells. So
Okay.
probiotic option should be eaten. Yes, some people have some irritation in the throat or something, so that can be remodified, and some food items can be added to avoid that irritation while having that particular food, like adding like black pepper or maybe ginger, which is good for the throat. So these kind of option can be added and can be eaten. So little modification is required, not the avoiding the food item completely from your diet. And the second important thing, like people, if some food item is considered as good for the immunity, that is considered in a prescribed amount. The people shouldn't overdo things, because anything which you have in excess is going to impact you badly, even if it is a plant-based thing. So like if some kadha or maybe haldi is good for the health, it should be in a small portion, because we Indians eat haldi in everything. So we don't require in having in excess. And whatever we eat, it is going to affect your inner organs also. So that should also be taken into consideration. That is very important.
Yeah,
To
I'm not to, I mean, to give respect also, but how people started to say that home-based, medicines, home-based food and plant-based actually also food items are very good for health. And suddenly there was this new understanding that, you rightly said kadha and things like that. If you have those things, then you are going to be much more, stronger in terms of your immunity levels. And you rightly said that the balance is important and not really taking a huge intake, isn't it?
true. And if something is means something is prescribed, like people should go in depth of that. Like if I say that 5 gram of salt is needed, it means we shouldn't forget about that. We are getting these things from the sodium, which we are going to get from the salt, the 5 gram. In addition to that, we are getting from the normal food also. So these kind of things people should understand, and if they have liberty to read it, fine. If they don't have liberty, then people like you, us, and the other medical fraternity members are always there to support them, guide them. So they need to follow the right platform, so that they can come to know that actual things which is going to support their health, not to harm.
Okay, also any special tips for, we have a lot of young girls and children that they should really do, because they are very more fond of their ice cream to candies to nice, foods which not only taste good but also look good. And you have this new, I would say, with due respect again, the millennials who would say, oh, home food is boring. So what is your advice to them to find food interesting?
So I would like, on a lighter note, I would rather say that they should start cooking, and they should start seeing the color of the vegetables. Once you look at the color of the vegetables and fruits, you feel that nothing could be more beautiful than this. So just develop the love for the color, and it's all available in the food item. And whatever color you feel like, you can put it. And once we say salad, like salad sounds really boring, that we have a impression that it is just going to be a like it's a raw, and it is going to be only some different vegetables and a small portion of something, onion and tomato. It's just not that. Like you can add and have whatever you feel like. And if like I don't have right now to show you the picture of these food items, and if I show you the picture, these millennials will feel that nothing could be more beautiful than this. So
Sure.
I would rather say they should paint their days with the healthy and colorful vegetables and fruits, rather than finding out colors in their dress.
I think I'm getting an idea. Let's have a campaign on making good food look glamorous
and
also.
and the concoction, these age group, they feel in the concoction, they feel like eating right color, and the food item, like what we see we eat. If looking at particular food item is not looking good, then definitely nobody is going to eat it. So how we serve, in which portion we serve, which utensil we serve, that also matter. Where we are eating in a closed chamber, or we are eating somewhere out in a happening area. So these things also matter. It's just not the color of the food.
Right now we can't go out. We can't sit with friends.
No, not going out. Even at home, like you can eat it nearby window, or maybe people, like you can see the greenery and all, and you are eating, you will enjoy it. So these are the only option. You can modify. The cooking can be modified.
And also, I must say, because we are also we advise cooking for all. So I would say that this is the right time for men to learn cooking or to improve on their cooking skills, so
True.
that they know where the food comes from, and the food is so good, isn't it?
Yeah, agree.
So I think if there are no such questions, we'll of course write it to you. And I think these kind of conversations, and I think which is going beyond the traditional aspect, as you rightly said, that eating is not about just putting a morsel in your mouth, but it's about the whole outlook of life. It's an outlook of your body, also the mind as to how it feels, and then having a very kind of a future which is stronger and more confident. And that's what food is also all about. So thank you, Dr.
Thank
Richard.
you. Thank
Sharing
you.
with us.
Any
And
question in future, I would be like happy to answer that.
sure, sure. And we'll keep inviting you. We'll have some new ideas, an interesting session with maybe young people, but they can asking some of these crazy questions as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so thank you
And
so
next
much.
time I will come with the placard of the colorful vegetables and all, and how to prepare it, the more recipe. Yeah.
Yeah, this was a nice conversation. In fact, what we'll plan to do, and I'm saying it right now, we can talk about certain myths, because a lot of food experts are also now there, and there are all kinds of things that if you say that no, don't eat this, somebody says no, no, eat this because that is also good. So let's also look at some of these myths which sometimes float around, and we need to really understand what is really really good for us. And that's why I said please know what is the right food for you. So let's take this food journey ahead in some other episode also. And thank you for your time once again. And I wish you all the best from Herbal India platform, Dr. Richard. Thank you.